Hi, thank you for taking the time to watch this video today. What we're going to do here is cover the Workspot design concepts. So this playbook is intended for MSPs, partners, and customers that want to deploy Workspot, anywhere from a simple lab environment to a full-blown enterprise solution. So what we'll do here is walk through the fundamental design concept and show you how it'll scale out. Now, let's get into some multi-cloud design concepts, where we're using basically single box designs for this. So if I look at a foundational multi-cloud, again, we get the Workspot control plane. Because it's isolated from the data plane, this provides tremendous flexibility. So if we look at, we've got GCP, AWS, Azure, so each has a single box. So the foundation single box is still in play, and Workspot makes the connections to the IaaS. And so from the end user, we can access any one of these clouds from the Workspot client. We could provision the resources. Additionally, what's typical is you put a VPN between the clouds so that the domain services, the ADDNS services can talk across the three clouds. And that way the user, you could fail over from one cloud to the next seamlessly using our global desktop feature. But even this, even our sales demo environment, for example, uses this concept. We're multi-cloud and we just have a single Active Directory, and we just spread it out across the clouds. Very powerful design. But you can see it's fundamentally just a single box design, just putting Lego blocks together, if you will. This is a pretty simple self-contained multi-cloud EUC solution, and you could use this in labs, and you could use this for customers that need to have that multi-cloud capability. And a lot of enterprises were certainly seeing that. So we'll take that same multi-cloud design concept, and now, as you can see here, we're going to introduce Azure Active Directory. So enter ID only. So very, very possible to do that same design. And what's nice here is VPN is optional, because you can kind of keep these clouds isolated from each other, or like our networking foundational connection to VPN or peer over to what other resources they need to do, but we're still putting these Workspot resources in their own boxes. And so this will meet a enter ID only cloud native identity directory services management. Again, AWS Core has a bit of a limitation there. Cloud apps are only supported on Azure. So that's when we would start to look at a hybrid, and that's where you bring in the back end the domain controllers and DNS services and whatever construct you want to use, but typically VPN between them. You could have a transit. There's all kinds of possibilities here, but out of the scope of what we're talking about, because in the context of Workspot, it's just plugging these boxes in where they need to go into the fabric of what an enterprise has already. So this is where we want to try to meet all the various requirements, and this is where we need to reintroduce Active Directory into the mix. We can do this same concept in a hybrid mode using Okta. So we're just using the same basic concepts we started with earlier in this video, and we're just extending it out. So again, this is basically just for the Okta Cloud Native Identity requirement. And we also support this with our Workspot IDP service. So we have customers that may have different IDPs.